welcome back to our channel. My name is Ari.
And my name is Natsu.
And today we are here to talk about relationships. Specifically, relationships that come from kind of like other backgrounds. I think most of you don't know, but we have relationships going on. Not between us, actually, but we have our partners, and both of our partners are actually foreigners. And both foreigners living in Japan. So we want to talk about how is it to actually have a foreign partner and what difficulties does it come with, etc. We both have partners that are from different countries. My partner is from China, actually.
My partner from the States. 初めて言うんじゃないの？
あ、確かに。ニュースフラッシュ。
ナーバスなんだけど大丈夫？
確かに。Let's start with the first thing. Cultural differences. Okay. I didn't do 告白. In Japan, everyone does 告白でしょ。
Most of the time 告白あるね。
かもしれないけどね。
I didn't do 告白 either.
でしょ？
I had relationships like back in the States too, and that's how I was used to. So we never really like even think about it って感じかもしれない。
That's very true. I think for me, hearing that there's like the confession culture, what is that みたいな。And especially if you date a foreigner, I think you will realize that it's never really official until you feel it's official みたいな。
Yeah. It's all about feelings.
So. And speaking of feelings, expressing affection, she doesn't say I love you とか。I think that's an Asian thing.
It's an Asian thing, 100%.
ちょっとね、I felt
だって you guys say so much じゃん。
まあ we say ね。
いつも言うけど、やっぱね、そうだね、it's Asian thing だと思う。We don't really say 例えばまあ日本語だったら愛してるは言わないと思います。あんまり。
なるほどね。Would you say it if it would be Japanese? なんか日本語で。Because I heard, for some people it's different. In English, saying I love you is fine, but 愛してる is too heavy みたいな。わかる？
Okay. It's a language difference.
それ。
それもわかる、確かに。Depends on who you're saying to かもしれない。
Makes super sense ね。
Because my partner is from America.
確かに。
Yes, I feel 愛してる is heavier than I love you. でも、it's easy to tell him. But if I say it to Japanese person, 多分難しいかも。
なるほどね。それ面白くない？Not only language is an issue, I think. でも misunderstanding. Sometimes I hear what my girlfriend specifically says is like, you say too much. You complain too much. This is the way I speak about things.
なるほどね。
Because in Europe, we talk a lot about what we like and don't like and what bothers us and what doesn't bother. And she's like, sometimes it's better not to say something. And that's something I really needed to learn. And it was sometimes a hard situation where almost fight took out or like didn't really understand what's going on. That was a big thing. Did you have anything similar thing?
My biggest thing, 本当にこれ絶対 one thing for international couple or whatever, 絶対 they can't avoid っていうのがある。sense of humor.
So true.
これはもうね多分無理だと思う。
So true. Oh my god.
一番難しい。
Her sense of humor was also very unique. Like if I hit you, then it's funny みたいな。
わかった。日本の漫才みたいな。
そう。
チャイナもあるんだ。
そう。And なんか when she did that the first time, like she hit my head みたいな。バカみたいな。I was like, why are you hitting me? What's wrong with you? みたいな。本当にびっくりした。What the hell? But I saw in her eyes, she doesn't mean it in a bad way.
なるほど。はいはい。
それはなんか面白いみたいな。There was something that was なんか confusing.
そうだね。なんかコメディアンスタイルは全然違うし、本当に特に日本のコメディアンスタイルはめっちゃユニークだよ。
そうだよね。
全然違う。だから彼も日本のなんかコメディアン見てみたいになるし、私もアメリカの見てたまにみたいになるのね。But also, when you want to talk about like your childhood star とか whatever とか絶対 they don't understand, なんか we can't understand because you don't know でしょ。
True.
You don't know all the Chinese TV shows and like stars and what's funny and what's not でしょ。
No idea.
これもちょっと難しいんだよ。
わかる。I was like Elvis Presley, and she was like 誰？I was like, no way, you don't know this person. Like, we had such a different background.
Which is also, in a good way, it's fun. Because we can share.
それそれ。
そうなんだみたいな。
それ。
でもなんか let's say if you date with someone from Germany, they grew up in Germany, and I date with someone grew up in Japan, then we can easily talk about, do you remember when like back in 2000 something we had this thing and that, like you know he did this, she did this, yeah でもこれはない。
本当にそう。
Because 本当に we don't know.
Right. Alright, the next thing we want to talk about, language barrier. We mostly speak a mix between Japanese and English because I don't speak Chinese, she doesn't speak German or Greek, right? So we have to kind of communicate in not our language, native language. So there's many times where we face a situation where I say a word and she doesn't understand what I'm saying. And I think it's funny sometimes. And she's like, don't laugh at me, Midana. I was like, no, it's not that. It's just like, it's a funny situation. And the other way around too. Sometimes she says something and she means something else. That's really only because we speak in a language that is not our first one. これ難しい。
確かに。
Luckily we have Japanese なんだけど。Japanese is like
in the middle.
In the middle. So
that's actually really interesting. Because we speak in mostly English. Because it's easier for us. でも still because English is not my first language.
Right.
なんか sometimes, especially on text, I understand ちょっと different way. Sometimes. なんか結構テクストだと難しい時ある。
How do you overcome that?
あんまりもうないけど。When it happens, I just give up. It's like,
so true.
Okay. It can't be like, okay, we need to communicate perfectly って感じ。
That is so true.
すっごい難しいから、you have to kind of be like, yeah, しょうがないの we don't understand. Like, しょうがないよね because we have different language.
それ。
You have to understand that you're different って感じ。
Right. I totally agree with that. I think as a tip, kind of, if you are in an international relationship or whatever, and you have a language barrier, just trust your partner as a person.
Yep.
Not necessarily the words. Like you get used more to the person than the language. 本当に So don't be scared if you're Japanese and you want to date an American or the other way around. Give it a try.
そうだね。
Would I recommend to somebody to be in an international relationship? I would say 200% yes. I feel like personally I grew as a person much more sharing a culture with somebody who never even been in Europe before. And for me too, I've never been to China before. So it's a very, very like an amazing experience, and I would recommend it to everyone if you're considering. And if you're scared, don't be. Like it's a very rewarding experience.
My advice would be like, don't compare to other couples. I once did it and I freaked out. So I wish I didn't do that. It doesn't have to be international couple or non-international couple, but like every couple is different でしょ。
確かに。
でも when you're in international relationship, you're kind of different, especially when you're living in Japan.
Definitely.
So you feel like, is our relationship okay? Like compared to my friends, like, oh, I'm so jealous that they could understand this, like we could never understand this way とか whatever. Then more, you also have something really different from them too. だから don't compare at all. Just focus on your relationship and find out what's so special about your relationship.
Definitely. I also did that at the start. It's like I compared myself with other international couples or like couples in general.
So,
but we had totally different problems. So,
nothing good will happen from comparing マジで。
確かに。
本当に you shouldn't compare.
Good advice. Yeah. Alright, guys, so this is based, or what we shared with you is all based on our own experiences and our things that we learned. So we want to know from you, how do you feel about the idea of having an international relationship? Did we surprise you with something that we said? Was there like, oh, okay, that's interesting, or I never thought about this and that? Just let us know in the comments. If you want to hear or see more content like this, the best way to show us is by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, ring the bell button if you want to see more, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye! If you hear I love you for the first time, Toka, do you feel it's heavy in English?
Always the first I love you is heavy だよね。It means so much だから。
超ヘビなの。
そう。超ヘビーなのよ。
It is. It is.
やりすぎでしょ、あれ。